software applications that are specific to developing skills that meet local workforce demands. Villages typically for agriculture perhaps, or for other types of skills.
Let me tease it apart, because the software and then applications and then skills are sort of three different elements. And I'm not against skills, but that's a slightly later stage in the learning process. And kids who go into those, who've come out of, some of our laptops are now in the field for 3.5 years. So some of those kids are going into, let me call it the early workforce. They were, they're 15, 16 today, going into technical schools or whatever. They are extraordinary. They're thinkers. They just are much better prepared for the skilled workforce. And it's not because they learned Word or Excel. That's, again, another criminal act. If you're trying to teach children Word or Excel, you should be ashamed of yourself. So that isn't the skill. The skill is, if you will, learning. And there what we've done is, yes, we have software, but we don't have pedagogical software. We don't do what Khan Academy does. Now, I'm very negative about what Khan Academy does because I don't think they understand. But it's okay, let's have it. But the Wikipedia is a much more powerful idea than the Khan Academy. So what we do for software is different. We make environments where the kids are encouraged to make things. So lots of, when we ship these, by the way, we ship the laptops, I didn't bring one of the laptops with me, the country has full control over what's on it. We certainly are. First of all, it's in local language. So the country has control, and the disks, or the flash, actually it's the flash, is burned in the factory. So that's, you don't do it one by one, because when you're shipping 1 million laptops, you want them all to come at least with the right starter kit. These are general purpose laptops, you can erase it all day one. But what we do, with the approval of the country, is we put a lot of software out there that we think is constructionist. So when you get the laptop, let's say you're Peru, you get 5 computer programming languages. Logo, Squeak, Scratch, 2 others much more sophisticated with it. And they're there because we think that that's important. Erase it if you want. We do not do educational software or curriculum. Yes, this is the last question, or 2 more questions? 3 more questions? 2 brief questions.
You mentioned about couple symbol, not to get through in spite of, get through to couple symbol in spite of a newspaper ad. But you also mentioned that you couldn't get through to President Obama in this country. So one is the politics of both countries. Yeah. The other part is that if you're so smart, in terms of ideas, how can it that you cannot get through to Obama or the State Department?
Well, first of all, there's perhaps a detail you don't know, and that is that my older brother was the Director of National Intelligence and was the Deputy Secretary of State. So I got through. Really got through. No question. In all regimes. And it was very easy. And in fact, both General McChrystal and General Petraeus agreed. And when I met with General Petraeus in Kabul, it was after he had met with McChrystal had met with one of my people. His name is Matt Keller, and I said, Matt, when General McChrystal asks you how much will it cost to do every child in Afghanistan, don't hesitate. Don't look embarrassed and, well, $1 billion, sir. So Matt practices. He goes to Kabul, and McChrystal gives him 1 hour. General McChrystal was in the middle of what he was doing. He gave 1 hour. It wasn't me, it was somebody who worked for me. And at the end, McChrystal looks at him and says, Mr. Keller, what will this cost? And Matt, we rehearsed it, said, $1 billion, sir. And McChrystal said, that's not a problem. I said, wow, I'm going to go. So I flew, And I was in Athens about to take the flight, and that's when Obama called McChrystal back. So I said, yes, exactly. So I turned around, I didn't continue on, arranged it, went and saw Petraeus, and Petraeus' answer was, you know, it's not fungible money. But I said, well, it's got to make it fungible money, because you can't spend $2 billion a week and let your domestic education system and all these other things fall apart. And so Obama knows, and Clinton, I mean the real Clinton, knows. Hillary. One last question, and then I'll leave you. I've got a flight.
Question is about India.
Yes.
When there's about 30% which is of the adult population which is also not educated. So when you say children, can this be also go to adults? And a related question is, have you talked to the renewable energy
Talk to
the Minister of Renewable Energy? Because I see a great compatibility with energy and education. Both pieces are there on your laptop.
Yeah. Sorry, I just lost the first part of your question. Sorry, I was thinking.
Adult education.
The adult part, yeah. Sorry. Adults are much harder. And they're much harder because they've lost the natural elements of sucking in like a sponge. It's much harder for all of us in this room to learn a new language. I can take any 5-year-old in India, any part, remote or not remote area, drop them in Paris and they're going to speak French in 6 weeks, 10 weeks, 12 weeks. The brain is, with the acquisition of knowledge, it's much easier. And so what I have said and have opted for is if the children can teach the adults, then let me focus on the children. And also, let me get to them before they're screwed up by school. And what happens is that you spend so much time undoing the mess created by school, undoing the belief in rote learning, and I have to memorize this and I have to memorize that I'm spending most of my energy undoing things. So that's another reason to start with 5, 6, 7-year-olds, because not only are their minds like sponges. I go into 30 seconds. I go into a classroom, a first grade classroom in any country. The eyes are wide open. The kids are sitting there. They're like sponges. And you go to the 3rd grade classroom, and they already have their heads down, waiting for the bell to ring. Bell rings, they run out, and they're already just from 1st to 3rd grade, they're ruined. Now, that isn't all places, everywhere, etc., but it's an important change. So you really have to go early and then count on them to teach the adults. Thank you.
On behalf of all of us, I'd like to thank Nicholas for being with us this morning. And
ladies and gentlemen, because we're running a little late, we will not have that break that was announced. The next plenary session will start in 2 minutes, and we'll go straight to the breakout session starting at 11:15 a.m. Just have one announcement to make. Raj Singh of Google will be having a career opportunity session at 11:15 in the Bryant room. He has to leave by 2 o'clock, so those of you who are interested in that session, please head out there as early as you can, 11:15 or earlier. It's a great pleasure that I would like to bring to the stage Arjun Malhotra.
Good morning, gentlemen. I introduce to you this morning's business panel, and it's on